Hello there, my name is Lamin Jai. This is News Review. Thank you for being there. Coming up for you on the show today, SR Fall will run for president. He confirmed this to us. Tomorrow there will be a media event where he will announce the big development there. We have a report for you on SR Fall there and his plan to run for president, but also Gambia women political leaders also went up against each other yesterday in a night of debate. We have a report for you on that, but also Banka Manneh will be joining me to assist me on the development there by SR Fall to run for president. Before all of this, we will see what the newspapers are reporting on today. Let's see the Standard. Well, it was the Standard newspaper, in fact, that broke the news of SR Fall wanting to run for president there, saying SR Fall, the lead counsel of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission, and his legal team formally completed their job with the body yesterday. According to sources close to the commission, Mr. Fall's last day at the TRRC was marked by meetings with commissioners and other relevant staff. So the Standard is saying this happened yesterday. It was the final day of Mr. Fall working with the TRRC there. President Barrow signs Access to Information Bill into law. The Civil Society Coalition on Access to Information commends President Barrow for signing into law the Access to Information, that is the ATI bill, after it was passed by the National Assembly on the 1st of July this year. The CSO Coalition applauds Barrow for signing the bill, a fulfillment of his campaign promise and a demonstration of his political will and commitment to transparency and accountability. Also on the Standard, their drug suspect bailed after 40-day detention without charge. The Drug Law Enforcement Agency has been given 30 days to file charges against one Lamin Toure by the High Court in Banjul, presided over by Justice Ibrahima Jaite. Toure was also granted bail in the sum of $50,000 with one Gambian surety in like sum. The High Court's decision was premised on a ruling on an application filed by Toure's legal counsel, Lamin K. Mboj there. DP, that's the Democratic Party, one of the newest political parties in the country, to contest the December election all by itself. The presidential candidate and Secretary General of the newly registered Democratic Party, DP, has said his party is prepared to contest the December election all alone. In early March, the Independent Electoral Commission announced the registration of the Democratic Party, but since then, Gambians know very little about the party or its leader. But in an exclusive interview with the Standard yesterday, Yusufa Dumbuya said he was born and brought up in Banjul, but his parents originated from Karawan Samba Sira in the Central River region. Dumbuya, who is pursuing a PhD in accounting and business studies at the University of Maryland, said the persistent suffering of the Gambian people motivated him to establish a political party. Let's see the point now. One of the stories there on the point is saying NAWEC promises universal access to electricity by 2025. The managing director of the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, Nani Juara, has stated that the Gambia government, through its strategic electricity subsector roadmap, is designed to provide universal access to electricity by 2025. MD Juara was speaking during the opening of a two-day validation ceremony organized by the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy in collaboration with NAWEC, held at Sadauda Kairaba Jawara Conference Center. That is it for the newspapers. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back there. So now, 4 Gambian women who are actively taking part in politics. They come from different political parties, but yesterday they went up against each other in a night of debate. Mudi Wangam reports.
4 women, 1 stage. The women had one simple job: to lay out what plans their political parties have for the country if voted into office.
Under GMC government, we will never sit and see women crime in this country. When you talk about the genital mutilation, it is a very complicated issue in the country. Because if you look at the issue seriously, there are religious leaders who are in support of it, but there are other people too who doesn't support it. As a party, we will stand with the people. There are issues we cannot impose on the society. We have to talk to them, and we have to find out the implications women are getting from it.
APRC is not a party that is not known in the Gambia. We have been ruling this country for 22 years with massive achievements, massive development in the country, that is to empower women and to empower youths. And we have done a lot to empower youths in this country. And, we have done a lot of achievements which will be discussed later, maybe in the discussions, because APRC is known worldwide. We have transformed the Gambia, changed the Gambia. You know, the name of Gambia before was not recognized. When you say Gambia, people think it's Zambia. But because of the APRC government, that is why Gambia is known worldwide.
25 hard years, I would say. 25 years we were in the forefront of fighting for the rights and democracy of the Gambian people. As we are now approaching the December elections, today I have the opportunity, representing my party, to explain to you our policies in regards to women, youth, and children. The United Democratic Party intends to institute a capable government. We are going to do this by relying on our diversities and professionalisms. We would all agree that the United Democratic Party has the highest capacity of personnel, and we're confident we are going to deliver.
GDC government will be reform all sectors, institutions and parastatals. And all enterprises all through the Gambia, because we believe it will bring closer the people and services to our country. We are not only going to focus on government and the other parastatals. We'll go down to the grassroots and meet the other people, like the local governments, from the chiefs and the alcalos. When it comes to women empowerment in the GDC government, even before we are a government, now that we're a shadow government, most positions in the GDC executive members are women.
Yakuma Jaite, Yamunauke, Fatu Jallo and Tida Kijera have made history in a political debate involving Gambian women. Top political science professor Dr. Abdoulaye Sen described the development as historic.
Well, this is historic in so many ways, and I think it underscores the importance of women, not only in this election, but in elections past. Women's issues have been neglected for the most part, and bringing it to the fore, to the extent that women are talking about it, I think is very significant.
Gambian women have for a very long time been behind in terms of political participation. Dr. Abdoulaye Sen is pinning it largely on culture.
Women historically have been marginalized in most societies. It also has a cultural element to it. Most of these countries are deeply patriarchal, and these also are reflected in the political system and structures. And for the most part, women are seen through this prism, and as a result are not given the opportunity, are shunned, and as a result do not participate as effectively. It's a man's game, it's a man's world, and it really is difficult for most women to venture into this area.
The debate came a few weeks after CA leader Dr. Ismaila Ceesay went up against PDOIS leader Halifa Sallah. Reporting for the Fatu Network's News Review, I am Mudi Wangom.
Now, Essa Faal will run for president. He will announce his bid on Friday. More in this report.
Essa Faal will announce his bid for the presidency on Friday in a huge move by the famous lawyer. Mr. Faal served as TRRC's lead attorney in its probe into the human rights violations and abuses that occurred during former President Yahya Jammeh's 22-year-old rule. Rumors have been rampant of the lawyer now planning to seek the highest office in the land, and the Standard newspaper broke the news on Thursday that Mr. Faal will announce his presidency bid on Friday. When contacted on the issue, Mr. Faal simply said, "God willing, we are going to announce tomorrow." Mr. Essa M. Faal has extensive knowledge and experience in international criminal law and international human rights law. He came to national prominence in 2018 when he was tapped by the Ministry of Justice as the TRRC's lead counsel. His style of questioning is what endeared him to many.
Or among the three witnesses, all of them point to you as the shooter. And that is a fundamental difference, isn't it?
So, you know what my concern is? That somehow on certain events, there is an uncanny consistency, whilst other events there is complete divergence of views.
But isn't that natural, Mr. Singate?
That is exactly what I'm coming to say.
That is
because it is
normal.
natural, then why are you giving that these three testimonies more weight than what I said? I can only tell you what I know.
But isn't that only natural, Mr. Singate?
Sir,
you have three witnesses, all of them give a story that is strikingly similar and consistent against the statement of the accused or the person being accused, which is a mere denial. What is more likely to believe?
Sir, vis-a-vis the time that has passed and the so many different stories that have come out subsequently, definitely it is odd that that such a thing has happened. Because I know for a fact.
What is odd that has happened?
No, what is odd is that these three have, well, in fact, Fati's testimony is not consistent 100% with either of them.
In the material elements, they are consistent, 100%.
Yes, but you cannot just cherry pick the evidence. You have to take it within context.
Mr. Singate, we are all lawyers.
Yes.
We're both lawyers. We all know that you focus on the relevant and material parts. You don't have to focus on every little element. You don't have to focus on all the nitty-gritties. You have to focus on those material bits and not everything. In every situation, when two people see something, they all see things differently.
Sir, facts that are relevant to the fact in issue.
Exactly.
Are
facts
relevant.
that are relevant.
Facts that are relevant to the fact in issue have to be taken into consideration. And that is what I'm trying to point out. The surrounding facts that are relevant to the fact in issue, which is the shooting, are inconsistent. And I would like the Commission to look at that, not just look at...
Mr. Singate, what is consistent is the fundamental issues. Who pulled the trigger that shot the victim? That is the material issue here. And all three witnesses are consistent and referred to you. If you deny, you continue to deny, we would leave it at that and the Commission would make up its mind. But it looks like that it is more likely that the evidence of these three consistent witnesses is more believable than the evidence of the person who is accused of having committed the violation, who offers nothing else beyond I merely threaten and coincidentally bang, the person is hurt.
So, you know, I'm aware of all of this. And like I told you, I could have easily taken the easy route out. But
Is that the easy
If I
way out?
stand by my... Of course it is, because this back and forth and this cross-examination making me appear as if I'm not telling the truth before the whole world is not the easy way out.
Does it look like you are not telling the truth?
Because that is what you are trying to insinuate.
But does
that
it look like it? That you're not speaking the truth?
That is what you are insinuating.
Perhaps that is a conclusion to be drawn from this.
If you want to draw your conclusions...
No, I don't draw the conclusions. That is for the Commission to draw.
Yes, but you have already drawn some conclusions with regards to me.
And no, I have not. I have just presented the evidence to you and made a proposition to you.
The TRRC uncovered serious human rights violations, and all fingers point to just one man, Yahya Jammeh. Essa will be remembered for the powerful closing statement he gave as the TRRC wound up its public hearings.
Mr. Chair, even political dissent was so suppressed that Jammeh could easily sail through elections. He manipulated the laws to ensure that he remained in power. That's why he had the audacity to tell us, I will be in power for a billion years, because he had all the confidence. He's taken all these steps. He has instituted a dictatorship. And when Sandeng and others decided to protest, he treated them in the only language he understood: violence, leading to the death of Solo Sandeng and the brutal torture of his cohorts. This was the Gambia that we had. So important was his throne to him that he would not even spare his relatives. We had today, from a person who was very close to him, that he killed at least 5 of them just because he believed those people wanted him dead. And